It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. Glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince.
That part always scares me.
Why is it
All
always
right. Let me readjust. I gotta get ready and get into bracket mode.
Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it.
Share that screen. This is the most fun part, is getting to share my screen and go into bracket mode.
It's the same thing I was saying on Discord, bro. It's the same thing, but I get to watch it on here.
Drink it in, man.
Yeah, we need to get that started. What he's talking about for all the viewers that are watching this.
Get a
Jeff has
Discord.
proposed to Wrestling in the Middle Discord, and I'm excited that I approve. I give the green light. Let's get it set up.
Thank you.
All right. This is the matchup I was looking at just then in anxious anticipation. It's the Sandman and Christian.
Sandman and Christian.
I can say without a doubt that Christian Cage is a better father than the Sandman based off of storylines, but no disrespect.
Ruthless aggression.
Huh.
Who are you going to go with? You know, I already know who I want to win.
Yeah, who would you go with in this?
I don't know. I want you to pick, just so I can either bitch or give you compliments.
I put him in the ring, and for whatever reason, the IC title is on the line here because it has to be. And I really want to root for Christian, but I think I am rooting for the Sandman because I'm an ECW head. And so, yeah, I guess, the Sandman's going to go over.
We really doing this again? Are we doing
Yes.
this again? What is your issue? Go on, man. Let's get the next fight.
Well, I don't see what the issue is.
Bro, Captain Charisma himself.
Yeah, I
Father
do
of
love
the
him.
year. Golly, he's doing his best work.
It's like you could try to convince me. And I keep thinking about the All In series and the moment when I was there at the All In series with just me and Mike. Shout out Mad Mike 54. And I got to literally just stand next to him and the rest of the patriarchy. They just pulled up and started standing in my section randomly. And I was like, all right, this is the life.
You were lucky to be in the glow.
Right, I breathed in the air of Christian Cage. And when I think of Christian, my favorite eras of him, I think of course, without a doubt, I think of the early 2000s singles run he had, IC title Christian, European champion Christian. But the Sandman is the Sandman, and unless you lived original ECW the way most of us did, you wouldn't understand. You had to have been there to understand. And I was lucky when I grew up in watching wrestling, that was one of the first things I ever watched as a tape trader, was watching ECW tapes, and the Sandman was the guy.
Yeah.
I understand, man. I understand. All right.
Understand, man. The Sandman.
Sandman, and I understand, man.
Drink it in, man.
Nunzio and John Morrison. Okay. Lil Guido. Nunzio.
Yeah.
Johnny Drip Drip. Johnny Underground.
I'm a fan of Johnny Drip Drip. That's what I really got to know him, is during the Johnny Drip Drip. I think I seen him a little bit in Lucha Underground.
Dude, that Johnny. Oof.
Drink it in, man.
Chef's kiss.
All
right.
I do love Johnny TV, dog. I'm a big fan of Johnny TV. He's one of my favorites now. I
love him now. I loved him in Lucha Underground. Like you just said, that was one of my favorite periods of his career. But what's making me pick him, 2009, 2010, John Morrison, whenever he should have been a world heavyweight / WWE champion. So,
My man. You bet
all right.
right one. Ooh.
Rhino and AJ Styles.
Rhino and AJ Styles?
Dude, it's
That sounds like a
2005
banger,
TNA.
That sounds like a banger ass match.
Dude, this is literally just another Thursday night in 2005. It's TNA, total nonstop action. Rhino and AJ Styles, and like I love Rhino in ECW and I love him in TNA, but AJ Styles is AJ Styles, and no matter where he goes, he'll be AJ Styles.
Phenomenal one.
I love him. Yeah, it wasn't hard to pick that, though. No disrespect to Rhino. I think whenever we go back into the 99s again or the hundreds again, no, he's in 99 now. This is the 99s. He's gonna surpass that. He's gonna be in the top 50, just not right now. Not over AJ Styles.
Acknowledge me.
Let's see. Let's scroll down. Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling versus Matt Sydal, which I changed it. I wrote it in as Evan Bourne at first, but because Matt Sydal as a whole did more than Evan Bourne did in his career, I don't guess you have a preference here yourself.
To be honest,
Part time, bruv.
I would go with Johnny Wrestling if we were cheering. And I was cheering. I would definitely be cheering probably for Johnny Wrestling. No disrespect to Matt Sydal. I actually enjoyed his gimmick with the box, and I thought that was very, very much dedication for the longest time. I just thought that was always a fan. To be honest, I just thought I was a fan like that goes to every single shit wrestling show that was in front row with a box. I was like, what a guy, what a legend. I was like, that guy must be loaded.
The only reason why I didn't switch the camera yet and really think on this and why I'm already going to decide is because I wanted to pick Johnny Gargano and think about everything I love about him, but Matt Sydal has done a lot in this business for a long time, and I really enjoy him, so it wasn't too hard of a decision when I really thought about it. Just like this won't be.
Didn't this happen? I feel like this match did happen before.
I don't remember Jeff Hardy versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
You don't
if it
remember
did,
that?
I don't remember it. Not off the top of my head.
Probably it didn't. Maybe they had I feel like I've seen them before. Maybe at least in the ring in AEW once. You went with Jeff. What? You went with Jeff Hardy?
It was very easy.
Powerhouse
Hobbs is already in the 99s. He's not going to be 100, but he's not in the top 25 where Jeff Hardy is. So let's be honest.
Man, I love Jeff.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Wanted to see him as an AEW Tag Team Champion.
Hey, me too. And let's just, while you bring that point up now, forget about Booker T and Carlito for a second. In fact, you don't want to see my face yet. Switch this camera.
He said, forget that for a second. Hold up.
Yeah. Show me for a moment. Here I am. I am one of the lucky few people that got to witness Jeff Hardy's last AEW match. I watched that live. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. I put the video up from that match. I watched Jeff Hardy's last AEW match, and that hurts to say because I heard on Matt Hardy's podcast way back when that he said they were going to finish their career there. So whatever happened to stop that really sucks.
Yeah. It was a shame, bro. It's a shame. But now I feel like they're going to try to end it in WWE or supposedly.
Yeah, me too.
If not, I'm pretty sure they're going to say TNA, but I'm pretty sure they want to do it WWE. Depends on if WWE is going to pick them both up.
Fickle. They're fickle.
I think you're spot on, Jeff. And you don't even really watch that product that much right now. Although I'm going to make you when it comes to Road to WrestleMania season. But
Why you pushing? Why you hurting me? Why you hurting me?
Welcome to the job, but you won't really feel the stress until you get to Road to WrestleMania season, and we're doing like 5 episodes in a week.
To be honest, bro, I wouldn't mind anyway. As long as bro. That's all.
That season will make you feel like you gotta love wrestling to really be here.
Buckle up, Teddy.
And if you really love wrestling, you really love Booker T and Carlito because they're legends.
I spit in the face of people who are not cool.
That's cool.
I think it would be safe to assume you would go with Carlito here, which is fair.
You know, younger version, when I saw Carlito, and that was like the closest thing I had of representation. They didn't even say he was, I want to say they didn't even say he was from San Juan, Puerto Rico. I want to say they, and if they
The
did,
Caribbean.
I'm not for sure. They did?
No, it's just the Caribbean.
Caribbean.
They just said the Caribbean. That's it.
Because it made me mad because in WWE games, when he came out, I was like, obviously he's Puerto Rican, I thought. And then when I looked it up on the creation games, it only gave me Caribbean. And I was all like, what a tap out, bro. We know the man's Puerto Rican. There's famous Puerto Rican wrestlers in the WWF and the E.
Yeah, and his family is one of the most famous Puerto Rican wrestling families of all time. And like he deserves that respect. His family put Puerto Rican wrestling on the map, and like go watch the Damian Priest documentary. That Damian Priest 24 they did. He talks about Puerto Rican wrestling and how vital the Colon family was because they revolutionized Puerto Rican wrestling, and there wouldn't be a Pedro Morales without them. There wouldn't be a Carlito or Primo Colon. Shout out to Primo.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Bro, been to Puerto Rico. I never knew Puerto Rico was a wrestling place up till now, later on.
Rich history.
Really did not know, and it makes me proud that I'm Puerto Rican, that I'm like, it's in my blood and my people that we have a rich history for wrestling. Makes me proud.
You'll be proud to know because you kind of just jumped in into this series. I don't think you've gotten to have a vote on him yet, but yeah, one of my favorite wrestlers that's in this top 100 is Pedro Morales, and he was the last WWE champion of Puerto Rican descent until Damian Priest. There was like a 50-year gap between him and Damian Priest. So,
damn.
Yeah. Shout out to Pedro Morales.
Shout out to my homie Pedro Morales.
I'll vote for Pedro if we need to vote.
God, Pedro.
All right, let's jump back. I love that this turned into a whole other thing because the choice for me on this wasn't that hard. I was always going to pick Carlito. It just was a thing of like, well, if you want to bring up why Booker T should be it, I'll listen because Booker T in WCW is a legend. And I don't think people really understand how good WCW Booker T is. And early 2000s WWF Booker T.
Ruthless aggression.
Bob Tom. All right, I'll keep moving. Kyle O'Reilly and Edge. You love Kyle O'Reilly, but I don't see him getting past Edge in my brain. I tried to be Edge. I tried to be Edge at a time when my hair length didn't make sense to try to be Edge.
Bro, I was trying to be Edge during the Brood.
Love that. I hated him. Literally, when I got obsessed with wrestling, he was the person I hated the most. And then, like, give it 3 years, and he's so cool. All I want to do is be like him.
I was going to say, was this the rated R Superstar Edge?
Yes, 100%.
So
100%. Let's go ahead and jump him ahead to go see.
Let's just go ahead and do that real quick.
It's not a secret. I could sit here and talk about how much I love Edge for a minute. So I didn't expect him to be a top 25, but I won't be surprised if he ends up in the top 25. That'll be exciting to see. Oh, shrimp bucket. Seth Rollins and Roderick Strong. This is a literal ROH title match.
The Backbreaker Messiah versus Seth freaking Rollins?
I could think that it's an argument because how much I love Seth Rollins during 2017, 2018. But I literally just watched 1 month ago the match between Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins, and Roderick Strong for the ROH World title. I wasn't rooting for Seth Rollins. I wasn't rooting for Tyler Black. No, I was 100% on Roderick Strong. So,
wow, I thought you were gonna go Seth Rollins. To be honest,
I thought it could be arguable, but I mean, the results show if you put him in the ring, I'm rooting for ROH legend Roderick Strong.
Nice.
He'll see Triple H here in a bit. That'll be fun. Well, I know we're gonna get back to that because of how fast you and I move.
You didn't know?
Swerve
Pedro
Strickland.
Morales.
I said it. Here we are. I said it.
Why would you do this to me? I love both.
Fickle.
I mean, all right, hold on. Let me pull back up. Let me pull up to the function one time. Stop sharing. Get that out of here. Stop sharing that.
Get it out of here. What are you doing?
It's always the ones I don't expect to be hard that end up being hard. Then I'm like, okay, how did this end up being a tough one? Because like, I've really gotten into Swerve Strickland over the past year. Most of us have. Before the past year, I didn't really see much in him, and then he proved me wrong every single day. And I respect the hell out of him. And I got to be a part of one of the biggest moments in his life. Not only his career, his life. And one of the biggest moments in pro wrestling history, especially for AEW. So that's big. That's never gonna be lost on me. Like, I'm gonna carry that with me to my grave. But I sit and watch Pedro Morales matches, and I'm like, yo, this is why I love wrestling. Like, this has been a thing. He was a revolutionary.
So put them both in the ring. Prime Pedro, prime Swerve. And you have the match. When the dust settles and the dust clears, who's going to be the one with the hand raised?
Acknowledge me.
No disrespect, but I'm picking Swerve.
Sadly, I would have said the same. That man could take a hell of a beating and still keep on going and going.
Yeah, because I think also another thing that makes it a thing, I think if I put them in the same time period, if I just disclude the fact that they're in total different time periods, I think the big deal is that, okay, like they're in the same time period. Swerve Strickland's cooler than Pedro Morales. It's just facts.
Yeah.
So
Acknowledge me.
I think dropping the time gap is really what makes me decide that.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Ooh.
That sways it. The time gap sways these decisions. Whenever you start to think that like it's not fair to judge Will Ospreay by what wrestlers decades before him were doing, because pro wrestling is evolved over the years.
Of course. Agree 100%.
So going back to that.
Better. I think honestly they gotten better. They just took the blueprints and evolved.
Thank you.
Hold on, I gotta bring myself back in for this next one. But yeah, exactly. I've had this conversation like 70 times on the internet as far as why I think that it always comes down to, this is separate from what we're talking about, but it always comes down to people being stuck in the mindset that it'll never get better than the Attitude Era. It did. And that's the issue. Is like, I lived both eras, this period and that period. And like the Attitude Era, take nothing away from it, was one of the most revolutionary times in wrestling, but they didn't do all that work for it not to evolve into a better landscape that it is today. Like, I think it's disrespectful to say, I think it's disrespectful to the Stone Colds and Rocks and Undertakers to say that wrestling isn't better now, because what the are they doing it for?
Acknowledge me.
Bro, it was a time period it was like a movement that will never be replicated. So that's why I think people are stuck on it. And for me too, it's a nostalgic.
Yeah.
But to say, if I put certain wrestler from Attitude Era, insert certain wrestler from Now Era, going at it, both in their prime, you can give a good, valid argument, but I would think the newer wrestler of the new generation would probably win just by the sheer different training measurements, what they've been going through, how they evolved. Like, people used to get, even though it's wrestling, I always tell Turtle, and then like when someone hits a pile driver and they kick out, he'll get so upset. And I always tell him, I was like, this ain't your old wrestling, Turtle. I was like, the wrestlers evolved. They got better. No, they don't respect the finish. I was all like, that's how good they are. Old wrestler probably couldn't kick out from that. New wrestlers kick out from it. Old wrestlers gets knocked out with the championship belt. 1, 2, 3. New wrestlers kicking out of championship belt knockouts. It's just different. They're just built different. I just think it's a different. They just evolve. Of course, you have to be better. You have to be able to take more punishments and still deliver and keep on going and not be gassed out. I don't think those WWF wrestlers, they would get gassed out. No disrespect.
Yeah. Also, in this exact same series we're doing right now, and it's why I turned my hat around to. I made the comment. I shouldn't say we, because it came down to me and my decision. This is my favorite wrestler. I came to a conclusion that like it would be almost disrespectful to Terry Funk, and Terry Funk would probably agree with me, to not pick Jon Moxley over him, because in picking Jon Moxley over him, I'm acknowledging that like all the work he did was to evolve pro wrestling into having our Jon Moxleys, and like Jon Moxley ran because Terry Funk walked. That almost came out really wrong.
So Jon Moxley can run.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm glad you agree with it, because it's how I feel.
I think so. It only makes sense. The wrestlers that paved the road for the new wrestlers nowadays to have like these movies, TV shows, they make hell of a lot more money, lesser dates, well, sometimes I would say, depending on who you ask.
Depending on who you ask. And all of this plays into the matchup we're looking at now. I was about to get into it, and then we got off on a tangent, and I love when we do that. But that matchup, or the matchup we're looking at, is exactly that, because we're looking at today versus the best of 40 years ago. We're looking at Zack Sabre versus Bruno Sammartino, and that's really big when you think about it, because Bruno Sammartino is the reason why we have pro wrestling today, and Zack Sabre Jr. is the future of this business in many people's aspect. I
think he's the best technical wrestler on this planet.
I'm saying. So, like, with that said, that's what makes this actually hard, when you would think it wouldn't be that hard. We're looking at why we have the business today versus how we're going to keep it.
Buckle up, Teddy.
I think Zack Sabre Jr. definitely would take Bruno Sammartino down.
In a straight-up match, he might out-wrestle him.
He would just out-wrestle him and put him in a submission.
Unless Bruno gets that bear hug in, Bruno just gets that big bear hug in, and it's over. But it's never really about like who's gonna win straight up. It's about, all right, who am I gonna root for when that bell rings? And wow, you might hate me for this, but no, I'm actually gonna go with Bruno Sammartino, because I think earlier in this episode we talked about how important representation is for us as kids. And as a young Italian boy, I think having the representation of Bruno Sammartino is something that's always going to mean a lot to me.
Thank you.
So.
Looks like we've had enough talk.
I had to take a walk.
Yeah.
I literally had to leave the room, come back, and readjust myself. I
feel like the point I just made was fair enough to come back to, though.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. All I was saying is that, as in another point we were making in this episode, as a young kid, like, having that representation is really important, and having someone to look up to like Bruno Sammartino, as a young Italian boy as myself, like, that was always a really big deal, and that's why I put him over Zack Sabre.
100%. I would have done it for a Puerto Rican wrestler as much.
That's cool.
Even though I picked Swerve over the Puerto Rican wrestler.
See? I don't think Bruno Sammartino might make the top 25, but he definitely at least gets ahead in this one. And now we're looking at, this is even bigger. Because we're looking at literal blood. We're putting my blood into this. And I'm going to see, all right, do I love Chris Jericho more than somebody who's a relative of mine?
Fickle. They're fickle.
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't know?
You really? I'm okay. Just shoot. Just shoot it. Shoot.
I love Y2J. I love Chris Jericho through the periods of 1997 and 2005. And then, hold up, take that back, because when he came back in 2007 and through 2007 and 9, I loved him twice as much. Through 2009 on to like 2013 or 12, not so much. But when he came back in 15, loved him again. I've always loved Chris Jericho, and I've loved his ability to stay relevant in wrestling. But when I found out as a young kid that I had a great uncle that was a professional wrestler, not only a great uncle, two great uncles, rest in peace to Scott Irwin, it was a big deal, regardless of how he's viewed in history and being the goon. I don't care. He's a badass wrestler, and he made not NWA. He made WCCW history. He made Texas wrestling history for that matter. Let's just put it like that. I put respect on his name, and I put him over Chris Jericho because it's a big deal.
Acknowledge me.
For that reason, I could understand. Putting the family first. Putting the bloodline first, huh? That's what you're doing? Put the bloodline
When it came to him versus Will Ospreay, though, it was no contest. It was like, all right, sorry, Unc. Never met you, bro.
Been real.
Never met you. Will Ospreay's once in a lifetime talent. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
What's up with that?
All right. Sami Zayn and Al Snow. Huh. Okay. I see you.
Feels like that's a match that should have happened.
I think if it did, Sami Zayn would clear him. Again, that's just talking on the Evolution Wrestling. But who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for Al Snow. Yeah. What does everybody want? They want Al Snow to go over. That's what they want.
Acknowledge me.
Farouk and Claudio Castagnoli, while I think I already know who I'm rooting for, I would just love to see this match. Just know I would love to see this match.
That would be a dream match for sure if they're both prime, especially prime Farouk. That's domination. We are the nation domination, Farouk.
Dude, I'm saying. I still, even if it's prime Farouk, I'm rooting for Claudio.
Well, Steph, I thought you were going to pick Farouk, to be honest.
It was always Claudio. That's why his figure is over here signed.
Thank you so much for watching this episode today, and we will continue very shortly. But I want to quickly give a thank you to the sponsor of today's episode and talk about something that I've recently been getting into. And if you're a really on-the-go, busy type of person like I am, you'll want to hear this. Today's episode is sponsored by Optavia, a low-sodium, calorie-efficient, sustainable diet plan that not only is catered to helping you reach your weight loss goals, but links you in with a personal health coach to help guide you alongside your health journey. And the best part, your coach is somebody who has already been on the same weight loss journey and found success in doing so. So not only a healthy diet that will supply you with ready meals and low-calorie snacks, but link you in with somebody who can help keep you motivated and educated on your way to a successful weight loss journey. I myself have been doing the diet, and I am really happy with the results so far, guys. I get a lot of these turkey meatball meals. The beef stew is my go-to lunch. A lot of times when I'm getting ready for the day, you will see me drinking on these Optavia shakes that I love. And the most important thing about this is how often I drink water. You drink a lot of water. It seems like it's hard, but I'm telling you personally, my coach keeps me educated, motivated, and properly hydrated. It is achievable. If you would like to get in contact with our show's personal coach and get started on your Optavia health journey, contact our email listed below in the description with the word Optavia. That's OPTAVIA. Or just head over to www.optavia.com and get started on your own time with your own coach. Now, back to the program.
We're back to Kurt Angle and the Sandman. Make your case, because I already decided.
Bro, if you're not picking Kurt Angle, bro, I don't know if I could do. I don't know if we can do these brackets with you again. I don't know if I could do that with you.
I really hope you find a way to stick it through.
Oh, you son of a! Oh, bro, no.
All right,
no.
Let me paint a picture.
No.
No. When Kurt Angle was doing his best wrestling, I was in my living room with a Minute Maid fruit punch can and a makeshift kendo stick, bashing the can on my head and smashing shit with a kendo stick. Like, the Sandman really was my guy at one point. It's not hard to put him over.
Acknowledge me.
The fact that he's even still in.
Literally, if he so help me God, he makes it into the 99. So help me.
I'm saying this is we're doing the 99s now, and the fact that he's even at 99 still is a disgrace, because this is somebody in the games for like 3 generations of games. I put the spinner belt on, and when you put the spinner belt on somebody, you mean it.
Ruthless.
Bro, just go. The next one, bro. That hurts. That hurts.
I'm zooming in for this next one. Orange Coleman, Caprice Cassidy.
What?
Orange Cassidy's really cool. Caprice Coleman's a good wrestler. I mean, they're both great wrestlers. Who do I like more as a character? Oh, damn. I thought I was going to say Caprice, and I think I might say Orange on that front, too. It's like I keep thinking I'm going to pick Caprice Coleman, but switched Orange Cassidy before. Yep. It's time to come back. Time to come on home.
Bring it back. First of all, I think Orange Cassidy was the right decision, especially with what this man's been doing lately. He's been putting that belt. He made the belt look so good now. I've been wanting him to get gold for a long time. I thought I was going to be with the tag team belts, though.
I'm stuck. I'm really stuck. Every part of my brain says I want to pick Caprice Coleman. Every part of my second guessing says, no, Orange Cassidy's cooler. And what's making everything harder is the last time we did this, I would say there was like 2 or 3 decisions I made that kept me up at night, because I said, do I really love this person more? I think I got it wrong. I don't want to get any more wrong, especially not here.
So when they're in the ring, you're really debating on who you're going to cheer for?
Ooh, yeah.
So when I go like this, I go, Orange Cassidy. What are you doing? Are you going to join me, or are you going to literally be the next person next to me saying,
okay,
Priest Coleman?
Okay. That brings up a really good point. When I put them in this is what makes no sense. I think just like this matchup, none of this makes sense. Whenever I think about who I'm going to go for, I think every test says Orange Cassidy. Better in the ring, better on the mic, better character. Like, he wins every category, and then you ring the bell and I'm rooting for Caprice Coleman. I don't understand it. I don't know. That was really hard, but like, especially when you pointed it out like that, I was like, no, I'm going to say Caprice Coleman.
All right, then there you go. The
That
man
was hard.
went with your heart decision. Now you're not going to be able to sleep tonight. I hope you know that.
This would be a badass match.